Namaste Lovelies. My name is Tahlya, and this is Michelle. And today we're going to be talking about the week's energies, what we felt personally, what has been kind of brewing in collective consciousness, some stuff, just real girl talk. We might even go as far as to talk about healthy makeup.
Healthy makeup. I love it.
So,
Love it.
let's let's begin with the Lionsgate portal. Yes, yes, it's hardcore. I've been feeling these energies for, like even last week. It's almost like I didn't know that I was feeling these energies even last week, but
For sure.
this week it has been so heavy, and I wanted to ask you, how are you sleeping?
Not good for my cat. Actually, decided my cat, rare, yeah,
Oh,
has been
right,
waking me
yeah.
up for the last week and a half at 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning, howling, um, every day. So I feel like these energies, besides the Lion's Gate, I think also just the collective state of the world at this moment, and especially in America, is like pulling everybody. So it's almost like we're being activated to be at a high stress level. Like everything is gonna take a
Yes.
like nothing's like no peace. Like the peace we're gonna have to be Jedis and have peace from within so much. You know what I mean? Because nothing's
Mm-hmm.
gonna allow us that space. That's how I feel. How
No,
about
and I totally get that. I think a lot of people, even just like the consciousness is changing and shifting, and I think this portal does have a lot to do with the going back and forth, because it's bringing so many different energies, and it's like in order to receive these energies, we have to release, and we have to release all of this like stuff you don't even know that you're hanging on to. It's the subconscious that's like the tip of the iceberg, and then the giant iceberg underneath.
Yeah, the shadow stuff for
Feel
sure.
It's so crazy. I think that the dreams, I have been working. I know I've been working in my dreams.
How so?
Like I've been having just like past experiences that have been coming up in my dreams that I've had to face again. A lot of past situations that I'm just like bringing up to the surface to just clear out, so I can finally, do this highest timeline thing. And I
Hmm.
feel like been a pressure cooker this week, for sure, with whatever like spiritually you're dealing with at this point, whether it's your career or your relationship or anything like that. I do feel like everybody, that sensitive spot in everybody, it's getting triggered right now.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. So
My partner Adam, like deeply that iceberg, exactly what you're talking about. It's like anything that he has wanted to, if he's okay with me sharing this, but like anything that he's wanted to not face.
mm,
Like I feel like the last 3 weeks since the new moon that triggered the eclipse was
yeah.
the second new moon in Cancer. Since then, I feel like we've been in like this new pocket that's a limbo between now and then the equinox, the next equinox. And there's something that's very like a pregnant pause about this time
Yes.
before like the fall energy quick kicks in. And back in the day, like the Hebrew calendar, the September cycle is actually the new year because that's where Rosh Hashanah is, and that's like the old. So I feel like there's an energy that always is a shift around that time that creates this new portal that actually seeds like this next level of energy and consciousness.
Okay. I will say my month that I always think is the new year for me personally is October. So I don't
Also,
know what
tell us that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
a lot of my, can you hear me?
It's okay. It just shook out for a second, but we're good. Yeah, but it's funny that because October, because it's the
Uh,
end of September is when the holidays are. It's like 20th of September.
oh,
So
because there have been really big changes in my life in October, where, career change or moving or stuff like that. And I always feel like October is that renewal of um, like birthing a new year.
however, though, I do want to tell everybody also for any other Scorpios out there, we're both born in November, And I always feel that too. It's like the month initiation, a month before my birthday is when this initiation process happens as well. So I wonder.
I guess I didn't think about that. Yeah. So maybe that's the thing too.
It's
I don't
all.
know.
It's
October
all.
is very shifty though. You know, it
And
has the
October,
Halloween.
very shifty.
It has, well, because it's like I feel like the change really starts sinking in. You know, like September is a little more mild, and
And the weather
October,
is too.
October cranks it up. You know, like I feel like it's definitely the shift month.
Love it.
If
It's one
there's
of my
a
favorite
shift month.
months. It's one of my favorite times of year. And I always attributed it to my birthday, but there's something very the pregnant possibility around the fall and around now when we're at like right before the Lionsgate with the summer closes. I think also, and then it's really it's the beginning of the dying part, right? Because the birthing and all of that, and then we're gonna harvest, take the fruit, and all those things.
Definitely.
So anyway, did you want to say anything else about the Lionsgate or something? I kind of cut you off when I started.
Oh, no. So I just think that a lot of these energies, like the sleeping, I can attribute, and I know other people that have been saying like I can't sleep, or like I got up one night at like 4 a.m, and I was like, okay, spirit, like I'll meditate for a little bit, because you know anytime I get up from 2 to 4, I'm like, I just kind of take it as a sign, like, spirit guides, what do you need me to know? Like, I'm open to whatever.
You're
And
so
I kind of what?
Don't do that. I went through that anyway. I said you're so disciplined.
Well, no, tell me, am I doing something? I'm
No,
also
no, you're
protecting
doing it
myself
awesome.
though.
No, you're doing fantastic. I'm saying you have more discipline than I do. Is what I was saying.
Oh, no, sometimes I just pee and like go back to sleep and I'm like, no, bye. But this week, yeah. Protect yourselves though. I will say that, like, a tip, please protect yourselves. Like, call on Archangel Michael or something, because 2 to 4 is good, but it can be too much. So but yeah, so I got up at 4 and I kind of opened myself up a little bit and like was kind of feeling around, and then I could not go back to sleep until like 5:30 in the morning. Like, it was getting light outside and I was like, why is it getting light outside and I'm still up? And like, man, so I know that I was just because I was half awake, half asleep, so I was definitely processing some stuff. And so it was like, it's been nights like that this week.
I call those attunements, though. That's very sacred. When the word that's coming is like portal, like when I've been in a portal of like being buzzed by energies that are maybe like outside of my own, like it's almost like you're being tuned to something else and you're not really knowing what, like I personally, the way that I perceive spirit is like it's kind of nebulous, like where I don't really know exactly what it is, but I'm aware something's happening.
Yeah.
And like upgrade feeling, and you're not really sure, but you feel like you're on some level. If you knew, like if you could see from a higher perspective, you would be able to read what's happening. But the way I experience my energy is I can just be aware something's happening.
I was vibrating at one point, actually.
Exactly.
Like, that just triggered, yeah, like I remember, like I was like in that space of almost having an OBE, not quite having an OBE, like the first step.
Sure. Totally.
So I do remember that when I was, more consciously, and I've been working on this kind of Kundalini breathing that I've started doing.
Sure.
So yeah, like any meditation now, I'm like, ooh, I'll do the breathing.
What is the breath?
So initially you just breathe in through your nose, or at least I breathe in. I don't know if it's been taught like this, but I breathe in through my nose and I breathe all the way into the lower back as much as I can. And then you hold it for like a good full second. You can hold it a little bit longer if you want. And then you envision your breath when you let it out, and you let it out like normally. When you let it out, you envision it flying up or rushing up to your head. And that really helps me stimulate my third eye. And I can feel so I exhale through my nose and I make sure that the tongue is on the top of my mouth, on the roof of my mouth when I'm doing this, so that when I envision the breath, And all of those healthy cells, I envision these healthy, bright cells that are coming into like the back of my brain and just creating these new neurotransmitters, these really healthy and beautiful neurotransmitters that are kind of taking over your brain and activating a lot of stuff. Yeah.
That's so potent.
Yeah. So that's kind of, and I think it's kind of like Kundalini breath, but there's so many different kinds. So, but this is what resonates with me.
Where did you learn
So I half learned it and half made it up.
it? Oh, really? That's
But
so
I was
cool.
reading a book. I should attribute this to the book. I mean, it's called Becoming Supernatural by
Oh, the dispenser guy.
the Dispenza guy, Joe, Dr. Joe. So he talks about that. And I love that he talks about the body as well and how it activates the cells.
So good.
And then having the cells, the activated cells rise up into your actual, neurocortex, blah, blah.
So did he come up with the body cell concept, and you created the breath to attune to that concept, or how did
No,
you have outside forces attracting your attention? It's all perfect. And that is what having children does. You have to attend to the needs of the child.
we're all good. But yeah, so it's just the breath, and then he actually just doesn't specify about how to breathe, really, and how to like if it's I think people are very specific with the mouth or the nose or the roof of the mouth, for the tongue, and relaxing the jaw. Like people have specific things, and so I kind of like that he's very non-specific, so then it kind of becomes your own, like whatever is comfortable and whatever really activates you, I guess.
What made you bring it into the lower back in specific?
Singer, you're being a singer, girl.
I don't know, but tell people, like, what is that? Like, I want to.
Oh, so when you want to take your biggest breath, you imagine breathing all the way down and starting to fill your lungs from the very back part of, essentially your tailbone. And you breathe all the way into your tailbone until everything, and you just kind of let it fill up naturally until everything fills up all the way into your chest. And then, like I said, then you just hold it there while those cells are being activated. And I almost want to say, like, through Mother, like Gaia, she activates those cells, and it's like the rebirth of all these new, beautiful cells. And then it flows all the way up when you breathe it out.
That's really fascinating.
But you don't have to do all that if you're a singer. You can just do the breathing and hold out a really long note.
I love that. I love how it's super grounding. And I think from working with the chakras, or something that I've noticed is that people don't activate the back of their body enough. Like people are kind of always forward focused, especially like hyper third eye out extended. Like a lot of people I need to like bring back into themselves. So if you're breathing that deep and in a yogi way, like there's books that I've read like quotes about like, can't remember who, but like one of those really, really, really famous yogis, like the guy who like invented like Krishnamurti or some one of those people, talking about like how people don't breathe in the
Yogananda?
No.
Yeah, no.
And it wasn't Krishnamurti. There was like Iyengar, like actual like posture yoga. It was one of those dudes.
Okay.
One of those dudes. But he was talking about like how modern man or people, like we don't breathe into the belly. Probably Yogananda too, to be honest. And like if we take deep belly breaths, then we're actually more like incarnated and more conscious. But people aren't doing that.
Because it's not only like the breath is literally the gateway between spirit and the body. So like the breath is not only air, like we're breathing in chi. you want that chi to be activated. What is it? The prana, the good ass prana. So like,
shout out to Infinite Waters.
you want all of that to be activated, like, and especially, and then when you bring it to the conscious level where you're actually thinking about breathing,
Yeah.
you know, because it is the one thing. I mean, I know some people can control their heart blood pressure and stuff like that, and that's super cool, but like most of humanity is not there yet. So like the one thing that we can control is our breath, but it also doesn't have to be controlled. So it is the bridge between, and that's why in meditation, breath is so important. I'm sure in yoga, breath
Yeah.
is super important.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's supposed to be a breath practice. But go ahead. Yeah.
but no, it is because of that body and spirit. Because with yoga and meditation, well, I guess even with yoga, probably even more because like you're doing stuff with your body,
Right.
with the awareness as well as the breath. So that's even more of a
Would it the way that I there's so many different like things happening, firing off in my brain at the same time. The way that I talk about it in my work, when I would do a workshop. So, okay, let's just talk about this. So when I would do a workshop, like if you chant mantra, right, you're bringing like the sound frequencies and there's like all this, but you're also focusing. So we're focusing our mind and our awareness, right?
Yes.
Breathing, we're focusing on our breath and our movement in the body. So the way in Hindu scripture, in Vedic text, there is a system called the koshas. And the koshas are the physical body and the subtle layers of the energetic body. And
How many? How many
there's five.
energetic? Okay.
Five.
Okay.
And Kundalini, you spoke of Kundalini. I haven't studied this, but Kaipacha says that there's 11 bodies in Kundalini yoga. And
It's almost like the
it's
chakras. Like you never know how many.
right, exactly. Well, yes, because the nadis themselves. Oh, look, I'm like fast and slow. That's funny. Do you see that?
You're good now, I think.
Okay,
Oh no,
cool.
maybe not.
Weird. Life. It's all good.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. So yeah, like the nadis, like there's thousands and thousands of little energetic like spots on our being, meridians and chi and all those little gateways, right? And so that what I'm just talking about, the nadis, the meridians, it's the energetic body, the prana body. So there's the physical, the annamaya kosha, then the prana, which is you were just speaking about, is our breath. Then there's the mental emotional, and that's where a lot of stuff gets stuck and happening and all that.
Totally.
And there's the higher self, the wisdom. And then there's the bliss body, where the soul, and that's where I believe we have like this silver cord that connects us to our infinite soul.
Higher self.
Yeah. Well, the higher self happens like the Vajramaya kosha, and then there's the bliss body, which is the soul self, and that goes to our infinite self. I feel, because I feel like and this I didn't get from anywhere. I just made it up, but I feel like there's more of me that exists off planet than in my current incarnation. And my job is to download that through weaving all of these koshas together. So that's why I spoke about the workshop. So when you do like a multidimensional, multisensory yogic experience, where either you're chanting, you're praying, you're singing, you're moving your body, you're breathing, you're weaving together all of the koshas. And you're harnessing together all of this energy so that you actually become unified instead of fragmented, which is we're all operating from this fragmented space all the time.
Yes. Which is parts work.
Yeah, totally.
I think I have like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Not even. But I wanted to speak on something that you said in one of your stories for your, it was Instagram or Facebook, right? You probably post them on both.
I don't know. Mostly Instagram. But
you were talking about love life now. And this week I've been having a really roller coaster ride with my personal life situation and like where me and my son are going to live and all of this stuff. And it's really taking me out of the now. It's really been taking me out of the present time. So I want to just say thank you so much for speaking about that, because loving life now will help me not only like release my worries and stress about what's going to happen in the future, but then I'm in the present moment and I get a choice to enjoy the moment, you know,
What
or if
you're
I'm not
talking
enjoying
about is the hardest work, by the way.
what am I?
It's like the hardest work, by the way. What you're talking about right now is like the hardest thing to do for everybody. I mean, Eckhart Tolle, that's his whole thing, right? Like,
Right. But I feel like, I mean, and I think that was one of the things when I was sleeping too, and I was vibrating. It's like I want that surrender so bad. And like I know on the other side it will be easy. But my ego is literally like, but I'm special. I'm special and I want to be special and I want to make sure that like you remember me and I have an identity and that I'm special. And I have to be able to let go fully of this Tahlya person that I've like made up to be important. That is not a vessel necessarily for God. It's my own importance that I'm afraid I'm going to lose.
totally. This mirrors my conversation with Adam like this afternoon. That's so crazy.
Really, it's lovely. So I think that like there's a threshold and like I can feel this pressure building and it's funny because I've been there. I've let go of ego before. Like I know that feeling. I know when it comes into the alignment like that. um but it's not yet, so I'm like like I want to get it, I want to get there, but there's still that like, oh no 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 no, but I'm important too, and just why don't you just do nothing and like use your time to do social media and not be productive and not do any inspired action like I was telling you to do. Like I'm still working on trying to be more productive in my inspired action as well, but it's literally just this war of like, oh, I just want to schmooze. I just want to like be lazy and Netflix and chocolate and ice cream.
Yeah.
And then there's this other part that's like, what? Why? Like, what is like? You're just gonna gain weight. Like you're gonna gain weight, and then you're gonna go to bed, and your stomach's gonna be working still because you were late night eating while you're sleeping, so the sleep is not gonna go well. Like all the stuff.
So you said
And
a couple things in that. Go ahead, go ahead.
no, go ahead to go.
What was the last part? And I.
And I still am somehow being okay, like justifying it sometimes. But then there's that part of my brain where it's like, why are you justifying? Like, you
Yeah.
don't want this. You are not here for binging Netflix. You are not here for candy and all this stuff. And yeah, I can have like the great priestess lady talk to me about this.
You are not here for candy. You are totally here for candy, girl. You get that candy, but appropriately. But yes, we're all here for candy.
No, I
Come
love my
on.
cacao ceremonies.
I'm getting some candy right now. Listen, I mean,
And pizza.
all the time. So yeah. I just want to honor like who doesn't have those problems? Who doesn't have that? In some form or fashion, we all do.
It's such at the forefront right now though for me.
Okay.
Like I think that that's what essentially this is Lionsgate portal, we can just like loop back around. This Lionsgate portal for me personally is speaking to, if you want to get on that highest timeline,
Okay.
you got to get your shit together. You have so much to offer, Tahlya, but you're not letting yourself letting yourself out there. You're not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. And honestly, and I didn't even talk about shame. Whew, shame is a big one. I've been working with my inner child and she's been happier and we've, definitely have a good relationship, but there's still a lot of shame and stuff, especially earlier this week that came up.
All these themes have come up on every call. I've had calls with my coaches and my groups and my clients and everything that you said. And I want to honor what you said, if I can, sister, if it's possible. So okay. I feel I'm like putting on my coach hat with you, which we don't do a lot, but I feel like I
have your coach hat.
No, I want to put it on. I want to offer you what I've offered a lot of my clients, which is like, I'm hearing certain things in the way that you're expressing yourself, and maybe some of the people who are listening also hear this. And also probably vibrate with it, like they do it in themselves, because every single client I've ever had has this. I have it too.
Hmm.
The shame and the judgment, there's always a layer of judgment, because what you just spoke was I should be, I'm here for great things. I mean, I
Instead
do
of
it,
shoulds.
but it's the judging of whatever, wherever you're at in the moment. And so what I've recognized is we can't, and this is like where the coach part of me comes in, like what I've recognized in several, what I've observed in several beings, right, that I've helped like change patterns, is like you can't shift what's underneath if you don't stop the self-deprecation. Like the first pattern to work with is that, and then like really owning and like being with and bringing love and self-love and nourishment to being okay just wherever you're starting this journey from, is going to be like that's like the first ownership piece, right? That's like the deepest medicine.
Well, you totally, I mean, and this is what you said on your story. Like, I even wrote it down, love life now. Like,
Right.
if I can just
Right.
get to that point of like, love life now. And then, like, I know this on a conceptual level, that like, if I
You
am
don't
enjoying my life and if I love my life, good things are going to come to me and everything will align in this divine timeline. And I know this. But yeah.
so,
Like,
so you're just like, you went into your head, right? And that's so then, and this is kind of where the nuances of coaching go, right? We can all know this information is like plastered all over the internet right now, but like nobody, like it shows up differently in everybody's body and everybody's thought system and everybody's energetic patterns. And because of the trauma and the experiences that you've had,
yeah.
your responses are a little bit different. And so I come in as like a mirror energy healer, and I can see what you're doing in your body and I can like change it for you. So like
Nice.
you're like very cerebral and like you get the concepts, but like
Aquarius moon.
I know, right? So like, but like hitting your head on a brick wall is not surrender,
Right.
basically,
Right.
right? And so you told me this last weekend when I was trying to muscle, my business into like what, instead of and that was the shift. This is like literally the shift that happened to me this week, was like, I'm getting so many chill girl, chill messages from the universe, like the
Mm-hmm.
Lionsgate. Like I'm getting so much like downshift. Like, what did you pulled a card for me? And it was like,
Go
go
with
with
the
the flow.
flow.
And
Yes.
then I was like, but let me tell you my story. And it was like mind. And it was like this disgusting card in the Osho deck, the mind card, by the
The
way. You
mind
know that
card.
card?
God.
Ooh, that was not aesthetically pleasing. I really like pretty things. And I was like, ah. But it's true, right? So whatever that shows up and looks like for us, it's like this hammer that we try for control.
Right.
And the way that we embody in our hearts and lead from our hearts is we don't have a specific condition that this should show up this way, the world should look this way, I need it to happen this way. And so here's a shift where I would dial in personally with what you just said, and whoever is listening to this that has the same thing where they wrestle with themselves. If you look at it from like compartmentalization, like you're either wanting to like veg out completely, right? Or you're wanting to be like ace productive, which means you're not giving yourself healthy energetic boundaries with either container. Does that make sense? So you need to make time. If I was going to give you advice, I would say, designate like nothing time, because there's a part of you that's craving like relaxation.
Yeah.
And then make doing things time. And then that's it. Like, but what you have to feed both. You have to feed both. And then they're not, this is like your masculine, feminine. Like I was doing this, and John Wineland actually gave me advice on this, like my masculine, my feminine, like wrestling, because
Yeah.
like I want to like sleep in, but I know I'm supposed to like be up at 6 and like go get them and lose weight and feel great and muscles and stuff. You know what I mean? So like that's where that shows up for me. But like you have to honor like both and then set containers, so you're not like at war with yourself, and the two parts of your personality aren't like bickering over like. And the other part is just don't judge yourself
Right.
for having it. And then we get to surrender and embody that surrender and like be okay with the fact that like, hey, I'm doing this again. I think that's a big deal. If we can witness it, and so we're not sabotaging and blaming ourselves and beating ourselves up, and we can witness it and we can be like, this is my thing right now, it's okay. And like do the self-forgiveness and self-compassion, it clears the way. It clears the way.
I'm wondering if I could do that while I was actually binging out on chocolate.
Go
Because
for
that
it. What are you
seems
saying?
like that would be a very, yeah, like I would have to make that a conscious act of like allowing myself to eat a lot of chocolate at night without feeling guilty.
Yeah, that's what Ram Dass says. I'm not even kidding you. I'm not even kidding you. Ram Dass says, like straight up in like one of his lectures, he says, do it until you've done it so much that you're over it.
Yeah.
Like do it with consciousness. If you're smoking and you say to yourself, I'm not going to smoke, and then you catch yourself smoking, witness, I am smoking, doing it again. I'm doing this. This is an addictive pattern.
And
This is
it
an
becomes
addictive
not,
pattern.
it doesn't become like you don't want it anymore. Like, okay, this is what I'm going to do now. Cause yeah, if I can get, but the thing is I like to like numb, like I was watching Little Women, like the BBC version of Little Women. It's so great.
You are so cute.
Cause that's like, it's so much fun for me. Yeah. Like I don't like all the shooting and all the stuff.
Okay, well, metaphorically, just FYI though, like what you just gave me like a huge, I know exactly what this is insight wise. You're wanting comfort. If
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching
Yes.
women, I'm eating chocolate, that means either you're a little girl or there's some part of you that's like wanting like cuddle time and
Yeah.
like expression. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are more, we could deem them like unhealthy ways to satisfy those cravings, or like the wise you know, would either talk to a sister or get insight. Like, you know, like I was just doing, like we're all doing that with each other, right? Like, what am I not seeing? Buy sound bowls. Oh, okay. You know, and you're like, I'm eating chocolate, and I'm like
Thank you
take a
God for
bubble bath.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you God for
No,
you.
but we all, but I was just doing it with another sister, so it's
Yeah.
like this big chain of like, how do we help each other like not be in our addictive crazy patterns and or react from our trauma and be like wise women and like show up in sisterhood. It's like really important.
Oh my gosh. And the priestess wants to like come out and activate and do all this stuff too. It's another like all of these energies are so different but so intense, and they all I mean, like I guess they all kind of intertwine.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, like major priestess downloads as well. I was like, I don't have like I was telling you, I was making all these lists this week, and like, okay, so I have a what are my gifts to humanity list. I have a expectations of myself. Like, what are the expectations that I put on myself list, which is crazy. And I would have to be like a superhero in order to like actually do all the stuff that I actually expect myself to do. It's a really good list to write. And then my other one is I have all these manifestation things, but I don't actually manifest experiences. So I wanted to write a list of like what experiences specifically I want to manifest in my life.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, like I haven't had that. Like the only experience that I ever want to manifest is like me singing and like influencing and like being out there. And that's like the only experience. But I was like, we were talking about going to Bali. And I was like, I don't ever manifest stuff like that. Like maybe I will manifest like going to Bali or going to other places or
I'll go to Bali with you.
yeah, but and like going to priestess school and like all that like shaman, like I want to learn more about shamanism. Like I already feel like it's in me. Like I
Yeah.
know it's in me. It just needs to be brought out, and like I would like to learn more about it and understand it more, and like, maybe get certified because everybody likes to get certified. But, just to have it and like bring it out, because I know it's like the priest, it's a natural thing that I feel like I will automatically attune to very easily.
Yeah.
But it's just I was gonna justify by saying it was lack of money.
But it's
So
like I'm hearing though, like what's more important if you wanted to be, this is like cool manifesting, because I was on a similar conversation just an hour ago about manifesting.
Yeah.
And the advice I heard was to embody the feeling state that you're wanting, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But with the shamanic stuff, that's like, there's so much to that, right? So there's what? Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say like my Native American roots, and we didn't even talk about the Maria. We didn't even talk about the Magdalene. Oh my gosh, so much has happened this week. Anyways, but the Cherokee.
Can you guys hear this? The Cherokee is speaking to you, yeah.
But yeah, I'm part Cherokee, and you know, it's always been kind of in my brain about it, but like I I've been more wanting to know about, I guess, more my roots in general. So like I got Italian Catholic on one side, but then I have this Native American Cherokee part of me as well.
Awesome.
And I learned a song that's like to kind of, oh, it's like a morning song that they would sing.
Wendeyaho?
Yes, yes.
One of my favorite songs.
I love it. It's so like if you wake up and you sing that song and it's just so empowering and beautiful and like nourishing, man, we need to sing that song.
Sing it with the drum right now.
Oh, right. I mean, like, dude. All right, we'll end it on this then, because I got to get these guys pizza.
Okay.
All right. Is that how it goes, right?
I love it. We all sing it differently, I'm sure. I go, hey, ho, yeah, yeah. That's something I made up.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it doesn't really end.
I sing it 4 times for each direction, 1 time for each direction.
That's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. I guess you could also do above and below is what Kitty wants to sing Wendeyaho. Wendeyaho. I see the Native American in you, sister. That's really beautiful.
It's my hair.
Maybe that's where we know each other from.
Right.
One of the many places, probably.
I'm sure.
I noticed the Egyptian tattoo on here.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool. I decided yesterday I was looking at something and I was like, I want more people in my life who know the meaning of the Ankh.
Yes. I was just, and man, we could talk forever. I know I have to get these guys pizza, but like next time I want to talk to you about the lady that I met who has the New Moon Sister nonprofit. And I talked to her, but I was talking to her about sex and how like that, maybe this is the next topic. We talk about sex and
That's a Mary Magdalene.
What sex really is and like how
I see where this
like the amount of misunderstanding that we have in humanity that it's almost like I want to say even for myself it's almost shameful to have sex unless it's sacred and like yeah that's kind of and that's a shame.
I wouldn't say shameful. I would say more animal, like it's more
well yeah more primitive, right and that's okay too
for it.
I guess, and yeah, like that's totally okay too. It's just that I don't have that balance. Like if I had a little of both, that would be great.
What do you mean? Yeah, exactly.
And
exactly.
I mean like, and we,
a lot of women feel that way. I mean, all spiritual like is not enough, and like all animal is not good. We want to have both.
Right.
And I want to be both. That's the whole tantric path. I don't want to pretend like I'm not. I'm a seductive beast, punch you in the face, throw me down.
I have oh man. All right. So next time we'll talk about this because I gotta go.
Okay.
I love you so much, sister.
I love you so much.
Thank you so much for all the beautiful advice.
Oh, well, good. I hope it helps everybody.
Yeah,
It's funny, whereas this is very personal conversation, so I hope that they're of service to whoever is hearing them, but they're fun for us, so that's why we like to do.
totally. Lionsgate portal.
Yes, blessings to
Namaste,
you.
Lovelies.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.